Welcome to Somebody's Mama podcast. We are your hosts, Kendra
and Nicole.
Thank you guys so much for joining us again today. We hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and leave us a rating and review. That helps us with our podcast, so we appreciate it. And let's just jump right into our week recap. So, how was your weekend and the rest of your week, Nicole?
Well, okay, so the last time we spoke, I was so hyped because, my niece was going to pick a prom dress, right?
Right.
And she didn't pick my prom dress.
Aww.
I know. It broke my little heart, but I didn't act like it did. I was just like, okay. But she got a really good deal at Saks Fifth Avenue, so I wasn't mad at it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I wasn't mad at it. She got a really good deal.
The styles, I feel like the styles have changed so much. Like a lot of the prom dresses that they're picking now is like, it's not that grand sometimes. Like some of the girls pick things that are a little bit, we were like trying to be like all different and I don't want to go to where everybody else went. And, so I feel like it's a little different now too.
Yeah, it really is. And
she loved it, right?
Yeah, she loved it. And so that's all that really matters.
Yes, I'm sure she's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. So how was your weekend? Well, how was your week?
So the rest of the week went great. And the weekend, like I told you guys last week, it was going to be my husband's birthday. So we went ahead and started celebrating on that Friday. I went and dropped him off at this place called Hammer and Nails. It's like a men's like grooming spa. So they do like manicures and pedicures, but it's like for men. And they have like these big like leather chairs. They get like a big screen TV. There's women, that are doing their manicures and pedicures, and then they get like a little drink, and it's like a cool little man cave type vibe. So I dropped him off.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, so he enjoyed that. And then I had my baby Bryson with me. So him and I went shopping while he was getting his services done. And then after that, we went to this restaurant for happy hour. And that was really good. And then Saturday, we went to brunch in downtown LA. That was nice. I really enjoyed the restaurant. I believe it's called Prank.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's near LA Live. Is that LA Live? At the Table Center? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's near LA Live. But it was really, really good. Like nobody had any complaints about their food. What's interesting is it was like contact-free service. So there was no waitress. Like you had to go up to the bar and like order your food. I think that's because of COVID. So that was interesting. Like there was nobody coming to your table like, do you need anything? It's like, no, you have to go up to the bar and order everything. But it was a real restaurant, like the setup.
Wow.
So that was weird, but the people who were there were really nice. So I would highly recommend. The food was like really good. And then Sunday.
Did you vlog it?
I didn't vlog it.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
I didn't vlog it because I feel like the direction my channel is going in right now is more like shop with me driven. Now I would have included it if I did like a shop with me that morning and then like went to brunch.
Get ready with me, a shop with me to get ready to go out.
Yeah, I see now. I didn't plan for it. If I didn't plan for it, it wasn't gonna happen. I was so busy like trying to like plan everything out for his birthday, make sure I got all his gifts. Men are so hard to shop for.
Oh yeah.
So I was like trying to make sure I had everything together for that. That was just like vlogging was like so far from my mind, but I definitely should have vlogged.
No worries though, because I think probably by next year, not next year, but by the summer, it's like you get people started with the one thing and then it goes to another.
Yeah, that's the plan. I do want to start incorporating like other parts of my life back again, because originally that's how I started out, just vlogging my life, but people didn't know me, so they weren't really that interested in that. So yeah. And then we finished off the weekend with a family Sunday dinner. So I made greens, mac and cheese, yams, cornbread. We had fried chicken. Yeah, it was
Ooh,
yes. I had to get
I'm gonna
myself
come by and get a plate.
girl. Yes, it was bomb. If I do say so myself. So yeah, so we had a great weekend, and you know what? It's so funny. Like as soon as we got off the podcast last week, and I looked at my phone, our phones was going crazy, right? With the drama that
Yeah.
happened last week after we filmed the podcast.
Oh yeah, you talking about the Portia thing?
Girl, the Portia and Fallon and Simon drama. So we know this is last week.
Wait. Don't forget the side chick too. The side chick too.
Oh, girl, that was an added layer. So the way it was unfolding, I was just like, this seems like it's fake. I was like, I was being pranked. Are they about to announce some type of business that they're doing together? Is this just getting us, invested in the story? Like, what's really happening here? Because the way it was unfolding, I was just like, oh my God, what's happening here?
But wait, I kid you not. When I saw it, I thought it was a prank, but then I was like, is she pregnant? It gave me pregnancy vibes.
Yeah, because she was wearing like the little not smock, like house dress type dress. It was nice. It was fabulous.
Yes, but it was very much so giving pregnancy 6 month vibes.
It definitely was. The whole thing was just like, okay, so if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you had to be under a rock. But I'm a fan. I've been a fan of Housewives of Atlanta since the beginning. Like, I love that show, right? So I know what's going on with all the characters on the show. Like, they just wrapped up the last episode of the reunion, all that good stuff, right? So there was a new girl on the show, Fallon, and it was presented to us as if her and Portia were friends because she brought her on the show. She got her house, swimming in her pool, drinking her drinks, smoking her hookah. Okay, she even volunteered the girl's jet to go on the trip. So it seemed as though they were friends, right? So it baffled me to look on my phone to see her face with this woman's soon-to-be ex-husband. So I'm like, what is going on? All of a sudden, they're not only dating but engaged. And the way they unfolded it, I feel like, did they say they were dating first?
Girl, Portia said they had been together for a month.
1 month.
1 month. And mind you, the divorce was filed in December or January.
Yeah. And according to, at first, they said that their divorce was already final, but Fallon came out and said it's not final.
Yeah.
And they're making this announcement, and they all spent Mother's Day together. And what's really strange is that allegedly Simon and her, Portia's child's father, Dennis, were like business partners, or they worked together somehow.
Yep.
But they're all three kikiing in the picture, which is, I mean, great. If, she has a baby by him and whoever he's with, they should all.
Like, it just, you know what it is? It's just not adding up.
It's not.
Because then wait, the other girl that came into the picture, she posted, there's this other girl said that she started dating him like March 30th or something like that.
Right.
And so we're at, what is this, May 16th or something like that?
Yep.
And wait, y'all been together for a month. We're pulling up to April 16th. Like, it's not adding up.
It's not adding up.
It's not
and the guy, Simon, got on there to deny what this young lady was saying. But she had video evidence. She had pictures. She's in your car.
She's in
Like,
she got the picture of the sweater that you wear. Like, it was just.
and the fact that you would be engaged to someone after a month while in the middle of a divorce.
Wait. Why did Fallon and Portia's ring look exactly alike?
Portia's just looked a little bit bigger.
Just
slightly. But it was the same shape. Absolutely. Like, the whole situation is strange. Like, I'm like, Portia, what are you really doing? Like, you knew this was going to be a bad look. Are you really that in love with this man? First of all, come on, let's be real. After a month. And then you guys are like commingling the family. Girl, everybody was at Mother's Day. Dennis' mama was there. Portia family was there. Simon was there. They all smoking cigars together. And it's like, okay. And she does have a new spinoff show coming out.
I didn't know that.
Bravo announced that she has another show, but it's supposed to be about her activism. And so they're saying that this is not a ploy to get people to watch the show, because the show was already greenlit before she made her announcement. But I'm sure this is going to encourage people to want to watch it, because
this is promo. This is promo.
It's piping hot tea. Like, what is really going on? And Fallon, they're saying that she has some other boyfriend and she's supposed to be pregnant by somebody else. Like, it's just all these rumors and allegations going on. But my head is blown, because I don't understand why you would even engage with someone's husband who was on the same show as you, that you were introduced as their friend. Like, I do understand how reality TV works, especially Housewives. You have to be brought on the show as a friend of someone. So sometimes they were saying that, Nene Leakes actually was saying that sometimes they'll ask you like, hey, can they come on as your friend? So she said the people that she brought on to the show as friends, she didn't know those people. So she said it could very much be true that they were indeed not friends before the show started. But
say they weren't really friends. You know it's a bad look.
It's a turtle.
Do not give us, don't give us, we're dating and we're engaged within 5 minutes.
No. That's what makes it seem so like fake. Like, nothing about this situation seems genuine. And I just feel like it's a totally bad look for her, regardless of what type of promo she's trying to do. Like, I'm always usually on Portia's side on the show. I mean, not all the time, because, you know, she's made a lot of mistakes, but she is one of my favorites on the show. But I'm like, girl, sis, really? Like, this is just like not a good look. So yeah, that was piping hot tea of last week. We had to touch on it. I personally don't feel like this is the best situation or scenario for her. Like, all this drama is going to come out, and I don't think it's going to last. So it's going to be like, all for what? Like, he's obviously still talking to other girls. Like, he doesn't look like he's going to stop. Like, he looks like the type to use his money to get what he wants with women, because let's just be honest, it's not all there, you know?
It's not there. But I do think that the hard part for me is Portia is so pretty. She's such a fan favorite. Mm-hmm. Like, why keep picking these guys that are just, you know, I don't know.
Not lookers.
And short. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, we don't have to see this new season. I got to see this new season, because I was not locked in to the last season. I'm gonna have to re-lock in, because I'm gonna need to know.
Yeah, the last season, it was not that great. They were reaching. So let's roll into the next topic.
Okay, so over the weekend, I was completely locked in to this whole Joe Budden situation, right?
Lord.
And a mess, right? But today, did you see the girl Olivia Dope, I believe her name is?
Yes.
She came out today with some sexual assault allegations against Joe Budden, and she was on the see the Thing Is podcast on his network.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, just to kind of cut it short, definitely go check out the full clip. She basically said while they were recording in the studio with the whole staff, he started saying some really offensive remarks at her that I don't really want to repeat, right? But
Right.
basically saying that he, you know, he's always wanted to mess with her and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was very suggestive language, right?
Mhm.
So towards the end, he then went up to hug her and he started grinding on her while hugging her after he's made all these sexual,
Oh, wow.
yeah, all these, after he's made all these sexual things or whatever, he said all these different things. And then after he was like, oh, are you good? And she was just like, yeah. But I think in that moment, one, she was super uncomfortable with all the sexual things that he was saying towards her.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, her coworkers were just laughing and kikiing along with Joe. Third, their podcast is supposed to be all about women empowerment and all about women and feminism and all this stuff. But then your boss is right here making all these sexual things towards your coworker, and you guys are just laughing about it.
And it was all on
So
air? They were recording?
yeah, it's all recorded. It's all
Wow.
recorded. Afterwards, the engineer asked Joe, oh, hey, do you want me to cut any of that stuff out?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I don't care. You can keep it or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Then they asked her, like, hey, you want us to like edit this? And basically she ended up saying yes. That's how she can point out the timestamps of what happened in that episode, because all those remarks that he said that were just really, really inappropriate are all cut out.
Wow.
So her reasoning of coming out today to say what she had to say about the sexual assault is the fact that it was bothering her that, this is all on the internet, and one day her daughter could, pull up this information and could see that she didn't, stick up for herself as a woman, and she just let those things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, one, I completely believe her. I believe Joe said those things. I believe that she felt uncomfortable. But the third thing, I just don't know, because she's telling us the things that he said, but those things did not make it to the actual episode.
Right.
So her daughter wouldn't have been able to look those things up necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the things that did make it to the podcast were inappropriate, but not to the level of the things that were edited, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, she states like she's just been sick to her stomach about it, that she didn't stick up for herself, which is understandable,
Right. And because this happened 3 months ago.
Yeah, this happened 3 months ago. But at the same time, 3 months ago, Joe Budden podcast is popping. It's like one of the biggest podcasts. So I can understand why she didn't want to come out and say something.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously right now, the way he's being dragged on the internet, it's, good timing for her.
It's like he has backup because, all these other things happening are showing his character, which, like you said, I don't blame her for, because whenever you come out about something like this, you risk the backlash of all their fans, their followers, people in the media judging you, people not believing you. And it's hard to put yourself out there, towards a public figure, and you don't know what type of support or backlash you're going to get. And so, I mean, it takes courage to speak up about this at any point. So, I mean, kudos to her for speaking up for herself.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't easy. And, when you have a child, it does amplify everything, and it makes your outlook on things so different. So she's like, hey, I don't want my daughter to ever grow up thinking that she needs to silence herself or not feel like she can stand up for herself against her boss or against somebody who's popular. We don't know all the facts. We don't know everything that happened. All we can go off is what she said and what we've seen. But as a mother, I mean, I get why she would want to stand up for herself. And just in case anything does come out, she doesn't want her daughter to grow up and be like, Mom, why didn't you say something? Or,
Right.
because they may have edited that footage out, but it's not gone.
Right, exactly. And so I do agree that it was really good to stick up and say something no matter the timing. And you know what? I also don't fault her for saying it now, where right now, because there's other people that have come out and said sexual assault things about Joe in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't catch any wind, or that wasn't, seen as true, or those women weren't technically believed, or it didn't catch wind.
Right.
And I think anybody who's does sexual assault, people need to know because especially such a big figure,
Mm-hmm.
you have too big of a platform.
Right. You
And
gotta be responsible, and like with your words especially. And we've seen him on TV. He can be a little free with his words.
okay, real hot, real hot.
So it's not so far-fetched. I don't know him personally. I don't know how the situation went. It could have been unintentional, just kind of like talking too much, doing too much. I could definitely see that, but you have to be responsible with the words that come out of your mouth. It affects people, and you got to be considerate. We can't just always excuse people's behavior just because that's the way they are or whatever, because somebody is going to have to suffer the consequences of their actions. And now she's out of a job.
Oh, okay.
And she has to deal with whatever pain and suffering that comes from that. He's going to have to deal with whatever pain and suffering comes from the part he had to play in it. And he got so much on his plate right now because people are not letting up.
No, but you know what? Since I started listening to all the updates over the weekend, I was listening to these three guys on this one YouTube channel that went live, and they were talking about it. And some of those people were talking so sideways about the situation and sticking up for Joe and his sexual assault comments. I was like, do these people really exist? Like, you're live on this channel talking about he didn't do nothing wrong, like he was just being flirtatious. Like, anyway. It's getting me mad.
Right. I mean, I feel like that happens though. People do things and either they don't realize it or they don't care. Like I said, people get excused for it. That's just how they talk, or that's just how they are, whatever. But all I can say is if somebody does something to you in that manner and you feel uncomfortable, you definitely have the right to speak up about it.
Yes.
It does make it discreditable when you wait, but any time is better than no time, in my opinion. So hope things get better for her in that situation. Hope they can work it out, figure out what's going on. So yeah, we're going to move into our main topic of discussion.
Yes.
So being that this is somebody's mama podcast, we're going to be talking about all the things they don't tell you about giving birth.
Oh, because there's a lot of them.
It's a lot. Okay. Because you think you prepared, you think you know, but you have no idea.
No idea. Okay.
Yes. So, Nicole, you want to jump in? You just gave birth.
Okay. So, seeing that I just gave birth, everything is very, at the front of my brain of the things that they do not tell you. And the main thing I wish people would tell people is, if you get an epidural, you are most likely going to get the shakes.
Yeah.
And it's so scary when it happens because everybody's like, okay, you get this epidural, it's going to take the pain away. And then you get it, and then you laying there and you just start shaking.
Yep.
And chattering with your teeth, the whole body shaking. And everybody's just standing there like it's normal. And you're like, does anybody see me? I'm shaking. I'm quivering. My spouse is looking around, looking like, what's going on? Is she okay? Is she
They always
okay?
talk about how great it is because it's going to relieve you of pain, and which it does if it works. Because that's
Okay.
another thing. Sometimes it won't take. It might take you one or two times to actually get the epidural to do what it's supposed to do. Because in my experience with my first son, they put it in. I'm like, okay, so they're saying like, yeah, you shouldn't feel anything from the bottom down. You shouldn't feel your legs. I'm like, I can definitely feel my legs. Like, I feel like the pain of the contractions kind of went away a little bit, but I could definitely still like feel everything. And so they came and they did it again. That time it worked, but it wore off by the time it was time for me to push.
No, see,
So,
that's
I feel like that's something that people don't really talk about is your body can actually reject the medicine. Like it might not be pushed correctly. I will say with the second epidural, the when he put it in, it was almost painless. Like he numbed me really good. The first time they put it in, I felt that whole thing going in. I was just like,
yeah.
and they're like, don't move, don't move. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like
You know what? It's funny you say that because the same thing happened with me. My first child, they had to do it twice, and when they first put it in, they did it wrong, and they had to take it out, and I could feel it go through my spine and go click, 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 click,
yep.
click, click, and
Mm-hmm.
then they had to redo it, and when they redid it the second time, I was more numb, so I didn't feel it as well. But
Mm-hmm.
then, check this out, the medicine only worked for my stomach, but not down there.
Wow.
So, and it only worked a little bit for my stomach. When I started to get in a lot of pain, I noticed that the medicine was dripping onto the bed.
Shut up.
Girl, it was the most, I basically gave a natural birth with my first child. It was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. The second time around, the same thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
He actually put the medicine in the right way. It was painless. I was like, oh my goodness, this is how it's supposed to
Supposed to
be.
be, yes.
And then the third one, I knew they did it wrong because she did it just like the first person.
Wow.
The same spot. The medicine was not hitting like it was supposed to hit.
It wasn't giving what it was supposed to give.
It wasn't. It wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. And when she did it, I knew she had did it wrong. And I'm thinking, I know you have done this wrong because you did not numb me well enough. I can feel you put the catheter and all that stuff in. And two, my legs did not numb fast enough. And
Mm-hmm.
my legs didn't fully go numb. I could still partially feel them. It felt like my legs were asleep, like it were like on a toilet. If
Mm-hmm.
you're on the toilet too long or sitting too
Yeah.
long, your legs go numb.
Right.
So it was like that for 6-7 hours. So
Uh-uh.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. I feel like, okay, so for my first son, both of these epidurals were with my first birth. My second son, I was not able to get an epidural because it just happened so fast. But
What? I didn't know that.
yeah, I didn't get to have one. Like, we'll talk about our birth stories in another episode, but
Yeah.
for those of you that don't know, I had him prematurely. So when I got there, everything happened within 2 or 3 hours. Like it went really fast. They were trying to stop my labor. It didn't work because I kept asking for medicine. I knew I was in active labor. Like I felt every contraction. Like I knew it was happening, but
Oh wow.
nobody was listening to me except for my mom, who's over there praying. But yeah, I wasn't able to get any pain meds at all.
Well, we're gonna have to do those birth stories at a later time because they're
Yeah,
both
boy, do I have a story for y'all.
okay. But
Yeah.
while we're on the subject, you know what else bothers me about giving birth?
Mm-hmm.
By the time you find out you're 10 centimeters, you're ready to go, they tell you to hold your own legs.
Right. That
What?
is not how they showed us it was going to happen in the movies.
Yeah. You mean my legs, I can barely feel them.
Right.
And now my big old self got to pull them up. I'm tired. It's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. Or I was like, no. After I got tired, another thing also to do with that, holding your legs for so long, I didn't find out that, with your first child, you can actually be in labor for 1 hour. I mean, be pushing for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Like, it's going to be your longest push. I pushed for an hour and a half.
Oh, no. No.
And
No.
you got me over here holding my legs. I can't breathe.
No.
Like,
No.
listen, then they rolled this a towel or something. They gave me a donut thing and they rolled a towel and put it under my back to like lift me up. So I'm completely uncomfortable. And I'm like, can we please take a break?
No. No.
Take a break. They're like, take a break.
No.
It's going to slow down the process. Listen, I pushed for a whole hour and a half. Like,
No.
that was not a part of the plan. What are you talking about?
See, okay, when it came to the pushing, I don't want to get too detailed, but the first time, because I could feel everything, I was basically refusing to push. I was like, no, I finally feel a little better, because when you get to that pushing point, the contractions like is different, right?
Right.
So I was finally a little relieved because I had been screaming in pain for at least a good 2-3 hours. So when it came time to push, I felt a little better, and they were like, push, and I was like, not so much. I'm gonna rest. And they're like, it's push. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But my second and my third, and actually that one, I only took me like 30 minutes. But my second and my third one, I was not about to have them tell me when to push. I told them, I was like, okay, we're going to push on this contraction, guys.
Oh, that's right.
And so I pushed maybe 10, 15 minutes. And I would tell them, I'd be like, they'd be chatting it up. My doctor is real nice. They'd be chatting up. I'm like, oh, okay, doctor, blah, blah, blah. We're going to push right now. And she's like, oh, okay. We're pushing.
You were a vet by then. You like, listen, we're gonna do this my way. And sometimes you have to speak up and do stuff like that, because that's what I should have done. I would have been pushing that long, because they're like, you're ready, let's go. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm that ready, but okay. And it just took entirely too long. And then what you learn too is laying on your back is not the best way to have a baby.
Right.
They're like, bear down, push like you're about to go number 2. And I'm like, who goes number 2 on their back? Like,
listen, a lot of people do, okay? In birth, okay?
In birth. But normally, that's not the natural way.
Right.
You fighting against gravity. Like, it's ridiculous. So I wish that's something that I was more informed about as well. I opted out of the Lamaze classes and stuff like that, but I do recommend for your first time to take some type of birthing class so that you can get prepared to push, because in the heat of everything, when they're telling you to act like you're gonna poop, but you can't even feel your body down there, it's hard to get yourself in position to actually do that. So half the time of trying to push is trying to figure out what the heck they're trying to tell you to even do.
And listen. And if you push too hard at the bottom, 1, you're gonna poop, and 2, you're gonna have hemorrhoids. Okay, they don't tell you about that.
They sure don't. And ripping from the rooter to the tutor.
Okay,
I have to put a trigger warning on here for anybody who. If you're already 9 months pregnant, I don't suggest you listen to this. Everybody gonna sit here like, what am I getting myself into?
Listen, when you're 9 months pregnant, I suggest you watch every labor and deliver video on YouTube, okay?
Prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Because once you get in there, it's go time. Like, your birthing plan, that's another thing. Birthing plans are great. It's great to have your requests known and make sure your partner, whoever's going to be supporting you, has that birthing plan and is going to be an advocate for you. But you also have to be flexible, because 9 times out of 10,
listen,
that birthing plan goes out the window. So,
okay,
you just want to make sure that you're flexible in that area, but have your non-negotiables. Like, I want this type of music played. I feel like music really does help. you know,
Or that you want to do skin to skin right
right
after.
after.
Or your cord if you want to put it in the freezer thing.
Yeah, if you have your if you're gonna encapsulate your placenta, already have all that paperwork there so that everybody knows what's gonna happen. Just do your pre-work, because if you go into active labor, there's no time to like talk about all that stuff. So make sure either your partner that's going to be with you has all the information. You talk to your doctor ahead of time, because if you have Kaiser, you're going to get who you get. You're not going to get your doctor. So you just want to make sure that you do your own groundwork, because if something is really important to you on that birthing plan and you really want it to happen, you have to have somebody else to advocate for you. So I do suggest, I didn't have a doula, but I do suggest it because, or, you know, your own midwife, because they will be your advocate for sure.
And you know what? I got really lucky because, you know, at Kaiser, you don't have your doctor. Tell me why. I saw my doctor at the hospital, and she's the one that induced me in my first time.
Uh-huh.
And she was, the moment she was at the hospital, I was seeing her, blah, blah, blah. And so she was like, oh, okay, well, I'm off in 5 minutes, but have a great delivery. You should be giving birth tonight. And I was like, wait, you're leaving? I didn't know. I didn't even know.
Like, girl, you could have stayed.
You could have stayed, but two, I ended up having a doula, and that was the most, I don't know why. I should have kept doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best. I was so thankful to have her.
Yeah, I did have a nice delivery with the midwife for my first son. My second son, I actually had a separate private OBGYN, and he was actually there already delivering a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I called him, he's like, oh, I'm already at the hospital, just come up here. And he lives around the corner from the hospital. So by the time I got there, he had went home. And when they told him I was actually going to have the baby, he like ran up there in his sweats. But he missed the whole thing because child happened that fast.
Wow, I can't wait to hear that.
We're going to get into that story because that was like a whole nother level.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add to things that you wish you would have known?
I feel like I could go on and on this topic all day. So maybe we'll have to do a part 2 another day.
Right. Oh, one more. This is the one.
What?
When they tell you to come in when your contractions are 4 to 5 minutes apart, that is not actually accurate. Like, if you can walk into the hospital and say, hey, I'm here to check in. I'm in labor right now. I just want to check in. You're not ready.
Nope, you're not ready.
They're going to send you home. They're going to check you, and they're going to send you home.
Yep.
It's go time when you cannot walk, you cannot talk, you can't breathe. You like, I gotta go. We gotta go right now. Like, and those contractions are hitting literally back to back. I would say 1 to 2 minutes apart is a little bit more accurate, because you can be 4 to 5 minutes apart for hours.
Days,
absolutely.
Days.
Like, I think when I went in and I was like 5 minutes apart, I was only like 2 to 3 centimeters dilated. So that whole thing about going in when you're 5 minutes, don't waste your time. They're going to send you home, unless your water already broke. If your water already broke and you lost your mucus plug, then I would say then you can go. But if none of that has happened and you're only 5 minutes apart and you can walk around and go and eat and shower and like watch TV and be comfortable, no, it's not.
Stay home.
It's not happening tonight.
And listen, we're not doctors. We just got some experience. At the end of the day, call your doctor, okay? Just call your doctor.
Always consult with your physician. We are not medical professionals. Okay, let's leave that disclaimer.
We just somebody's mamas.
Just somebody's mama who been through it, okay?
Okay.
Yes, I definitely think we will have to do a part 2, because she has 3 and I have 2, so we have different experiences with every child.
Yeah.
So so we're just gonna go ahead and wrap it up almost. Let's go into our mama moments.
Yes. Okay, so this week my mama moment was my son. He's been working so hard in Taekwondo, and he earned his belt.
What?
And yeah, it was so exciting because, you know, he's been wanting to do Taekwondo for a really long time. We finally let him do it. And so when he got his belt, I have it all recorded. It's the cutest thing.
Aww.
But when he got his belt, I recorded the whole thing, and he ran up to me and gave him this big hug. And he's like, "Mom, I'm so proud of myself."
Oh.
And I just like lit up on the inside, you know, because it was just like, wow, not only am I somebody's mama, but my child feels proud of themselves, you know?
Yes.
And
Yes.
confidence with little kids is such a big thing because all these kids is bullies out here, okay?
For
So
real.
kids is mean, okay?
Right.
So to see him have that moment made me proud to be his mama, you know?
Oh, that's so sweet. I have a
Mhm.
sentimental one too, girl. So it's so funny. Like, you know, you're somebody's mama when you can want to pull your hair out one minute because your kids are driving you crazy, and
Right.
want to cry tears of joy the next minute because they're so freaking cute. And they're yours. They're your babies. They came from you, you know, like you can be so proud of them. Um, so I was watching my kids play the other day, and my 1-year-old, he is getting so much into his personality is coming out, and he's just really like, they're playing together. Like, oh, this is why I had to.
Yes. Okay.
But I
Yes.
found myself literally sitting there watching them playing, wanting to cry because they were having so much fun together. And I have 2 boys. And I mean, Kendon is just chasing Bryson, and Bryson has his hands in the air, and he's like, ah, like running away from him. And he's
Aww.
like, oh my gosh, this is the cutest thing ever. I'm really somebody's mama. Like, I birthed those 2 little kids. Like, and those moments happen so randomly. Like I
Yeah.
said, you could literally be like, oh my gosh, they're driving me crazy. And then the next minute they do something so cute, and you're just like, oh my gosh, my whole heart. So I definitely had a little moment. If you guys don't know me, I'm very emotional. So I definitely was sitting up there about to like shed a little tear.
Well,
But yeah,
here.
so
But
that
it's so
was
nice though when they play like that. It really does feel it just feels so like, wow, okay.
mm-hmm.
It's just coming together.
It's coming together, and you're like, wow, I'm somebody's mama. I'm they mama. Okay, so now we're gonna really wrap it up.
Yes.
So what are we looking forward to in this next week?
Next week. You know, normally I'm such a planner, and this week my game is like all off. So I'm just kind of going with the flow this week, to be honest with you. I hope that I'm able to stop at the beach this following week. Like, I just love the beach. And so I'm hoping, you know, this upcoming week I have a moment to go to the beach by myself for a little bit, sit in the sand until I get tired of it and go home, you
Oh,
know?
that sounds so nice. I might have to do the same thing, girl. I
You know,
love it. I love listening to the waves and like,
yeah.
oh, that sounds lovely.
Yes, so that's kind of something I want to do this week. Will it happen?
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm gonna have to text Josh like, hey, you need to make it
For real.
happen. For myself, I don't have much going on this week. I need to film another video, so I need to get that done before Thursday. Oh, my cousin she just graduated from her doctorate program, so we're really
Oh,
proud
wow.
of her. Yes. She's super young too. She's 27 or 28. But oh, hey girl.
Oh, sorry. If you hear that noise in the background, I don't know why I didn't say it. That's my daughter in the background.
Baby.
Yeah, little
Yes.
baby.
So we're gonna be celebrating her just a little bit. A couple of family members because of COVID. I wish we could have all been at the graduation and celebrating her in a big way because we are so proud of her. She went straight through. Like, this is her first
Ooh.
break in school since kindergarten. Like she went from her undergrad to grad to doctorate program, like back to back to back. So
Oh, wow.
that's going to be exciting to celebrate her and to just enjoy the weekend with kiddos. So we definitely look forward to that. But thank you guys so much for joining
So
us
much.
this week's episode of Somebody's Mama podcast.
Pew, 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 pew.
So make sure you guys leave us a rating and review. 5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars only. Check us out on Instagram at Somebody's Mama Pod. And, chat it up with us there. Leave a comment, like a picture, hit us in the DMs.
Yes, we do right back. So
yes, we are there to answer your questions and to just chop it up. So we will see you guys next week.
All right, see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.